No.
Well, Rufus, this is a
Yo,
very special Saturday edition of
yeah,
All Star Fandom Prime.
yeah.
I'm your host Dia, and this is my guy Rufus. Obviously, you can tell it by the aesthetic and the thumbnail that you just clicked on. We're talking Bad Boys Ride or Die. I just saw it fresh out the movie theater.
Yeah.
Rufus saw it last night, so I felt like he pushed me to watch it today. I was gonna wait till tomorrow, but he was like, "Yeah, we gotta watch it, figure it out now." So I went and watched the matinee of it, and now I'm back here. So Rufus, but
Yo.
we jump into it, man, say hello to everybody. If you're
Hey,
watching
what's up,
now or
everybody?
on replay.
What's up, y'all? Y'all know me, your favorite chef, Doc Gavin in the house, and we about to get it in talking about Bad Boys. You know,
so so yeah, so I okay, so we're gonna do our Bad Boys review, and what we're gonna be doing is that this first part is just gonna be our initial feelings about the show, about the movie, and then we're gonna have a break. The bumper at the bottom is gonna say spoilers. So if you get to that point, you haven't seen it yet, turn us off, but come back.
yeah, come back, please, please come back,
Once you see it, come back and then let us
please come
know
back and chat with us. We want
what
to
you.
hear y'all comments and chat with us in the chat.
So Rufus, I'm gonna, like any good host, I'm gonna tee it up to you and
Okay,
let you sort of give your review and thoughts about it first, and then I'll go
all right,
after you. How about that?
all right. Let me calm down because I'm still excited. Um, I went into this movie with no expectations at all. I just strictly wanted to be entertained. And let me tell you, man, Martin, Will, the whole team, everybody, they delivered. Man, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie from beginning to end. Martin Lawrence is still funny to me. You understand? Um, and the action in this film, and if y'all have been watching us for a while, y'all know I love action. It was there for me. It was enough for me. Like I left the movie theater like really excited to like, and I was really happy to see the end of the whole Bad Boys. You know,
So wait,
from
we're done. We're done. Done.
I'm thinking this is
We'll
the last one,
okay. We'll get into
but
that
we'll
in the
come back
spoiler
to it.
side.
But back to what I was saying, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm super excited about promoting this movie, and we're not they didn't sponsor us just because
I was
y'all
gonna
listen.
say, did you get a
No,
check?
but the movie was really, I thought it was really good. From what I was expecting, man, I was really, really entertained. So I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
All right, so I'll give my piece on it real quick. I I enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable movie. I like this one more than the last one. I'll say that
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
Um, I do think I still don't think it topped 2 and 1 for me. Because if you're telling me to like, you're not telling me, I'm telling myself. If I'm ranking the
yeah.
movies, I'm still going for me personally 2-1 in this one. Um, I
Well, you know me. Number one is my favorite.
well, you want to talk about okay? Here's my thoughts, and we can just get into like some of the stuff without the spoilery stuff, right?
Hmm.
I felt like I've gotten so used to Michael Bay's level of action,
Hmm.
like that you can clearly tell when it's not him anymore.
Yeah,
You could tell
I can
that in the
understand
last
that.
one too. You could tell that a little bit in the last movie too, where I think these were the directors. Oh, I should have had it pulled up on my second screen here. I think these are the directors who were directing the Batgirl movie that got shelved,
Really?
and just the stuff that they've done, like the behind the scenes stuff that you saw, like how they did those gunshots and stuff
Yeah,
like
and I
that.
thought that was super interesting, man.
Super innovative, right? It's it's
Yes.
it's it's really cool. But I think I've gotten so used to Michael Bay's level of action that this man threw cars and boats in the second
Yeah.
movie, man.
Yeah.
And I felt like this one to me was a little slower than the rest of them, because just think about back at part two, like that we started off in the clan meeting, right? And and we got
Yeah.
popping off
And it
right
and it went
there.
it went left real quick.
Exactly. It was steady, like just go, go, go. Where this one was like, let me pause for the joke. Let me pause for this. Um, I think Martin looks the best that he's looked in a while in this movie. He's
Mm-hmm.
slimmed, trimmed down a bit. He was really cut in that suit for
Mm-hmm.
in that
That
suit that
tux.
we won't say what that was suit whole thing was
Yeah.
about. But I feel like if you saw the preview, you sort of knew about it. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, but no, I Martin was the comic relief. I get it. But when I compare Martins from one and two, those are the Martins I wish he would have stayed like.
Huh? You can't do
Um,
that. That's why
no,
I
but
went
here,
into this without
but
that.
here's but here's the thing. Like Martin became, oh man, the word I heard of the week was like zany. So I'm gonna use that. It was a little much for me at times. Now there was times where it's Martin Lawrence, man. He's gonna nail it every time. But then and make you laugh or either chuckle. So whatever he says, you're gonna get a reaction out of him, right? But I wish, I don't know, man. I don't what I'm trying to make my thoughts clear so I don't spoil anything as well before we get to that point. But I just, it was okay for me, man. It was
Man,
okay.
I loved it. Let me tell you
It
something.
was,
All the parts you talking about when he was zany, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why. How long your brain got to go without oxygen? You don't know what happened after that.
but
Shit.
see, I understand, and we'll get into that part in the next
You
few
might you
minutes.
might wake up a Looney Tune, bro. You don't
But
know.
but even in the second one a bit, he was still we still got those serious sides of Martin too. Or not those serious sides, but just those, let's drop the comedy real quick and let's deal with the issue at hand.
Mm-hmm.
I get it that the second one he was all in the woo side stuff and all that too, which working with Mike Lowry, that'll get you to that point, right? Like he had no choice but
Yeah.
to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
But man, he was a I love Martin, I love Will, man. I think my expectations has always been, how can you top the second one? And I've seen two movies,
I
so
kept trying
and
to
I've
tell
and
you.
I've seen two now. I've seen these two movies after the second one. And granted, that second movie came out in what, 2003 or
Yeah.
4, somewhere
It
around
was
there.
2003.
So granted, growth and all that, I get it. But man, I wish we could have toned down some of the zany and some of this the bit comedy,
I needed
and
all that.
and gotten to where Bad Boys thrive, and Bad Boys thrives when there's action and then reactions to the action. And we didn't get enough of it. I didn't feel like I got enough of that.
I got enough of all that. I don't know if you was
Because
looking for. Like I told you, don't go into it with expectations, thinking about the
it's
previous
but it's
movie.
it's hard for me not to think about expectations when I love the first two movies so much. So
That's
I I
and that's what most people probably were, which is why they didn't like the third one, and why people may or may not
well,
like this one.
what Rufus, you know
Stop
the
going
reason
into it with expectations.
you know the reason I don't like the third one. The third
I
one,
know. I know
anytime
why.
you
I know
add
why.
a lost son to
I
something,
know why.
I'm like,
I know. I knew you was gonna say that. I know. But
packing up. I'm out of here.
you can't just start packing up the gear though. You can't do that. Come on, man. But
All I'm saying,
look, I love it. I thought, and I'm an action junkie, bro. I thought it was action packed enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was thoroughly entertained in the movie,
so
and we're trying not to spoil this for you
well, with the
guys.
ticker now, we're gonna give it about 2 more minutes on this side of
Okay,
it. Then we'll jump into the spoiler side of it.
because
But If I'm asking you right now, if I'm asking you right now, if what would be your stars out of 5? What would you give Bad Boys Ride or Die?
Oh, I give it a 4.5, bro.
A word. I
Yeah, I
was
give it
thinking
a
about it when I was
4.5.
in the movies. I was like, it's a solid 3. It's better than the second one. I enjoyed it more than the second. I mean, it's better than the third one.
Then the third.
I enjoyed it more than that. And there's a lot of aspects of it that I didn't fully enjoy, but I understand with getting. Here's my thing when it comes to action movies, right? And we talked
And you
about this
can't
with.
compare it to Commando or
I'm not
Rambo.
comparing it to Commando. We're
That's what
not.
I'm trying to say.
We talked about that before. But for me, I get that actors want more to their characters, but
Uh-huh.
in 1 and 2, we knew who Mike Lowry was. Like we knew, obviously he was younger, but we
Mm-hmm.
knew who he was. We knew Martin. We knew how his character, how Marcus was. We knew how that character was laid out in 1 and 2. I feel like those last 2 did not feel like the same 2 people at times. And then we add on to his son and all that other stuff with that. I was like,
Now, now hold on. If we're gonna talk about them being different people, we gotta talk about real life.
okay,
Much older.
you talk about real life, and I'll tell
Okay.
you another 4
So
movies.
these guys are much older than
Go
what they
ahead.
were in those last 2 films. And
Mm-hmm.
we've known they both gone through some real shit in real life.
Okay.
So, and I think Martin's character, who is Marcus, his character kind of stayed the same, trying to still be calm until he
Mm.
came out of the thing.
But no,
Still not trying to fault you, kid.
okay. So okay, let's do this. You gave your review, right? I gave mine,
Uh-huh.
essentially, right? You gave your star rating a 4.5.
Yeah,
Um,
I like it, man.
I gave it a 3. It was middle for me, middle of the road for me. I hate saying mid. I'm not saying that. Erase all that. It was middle of the road for me. Um, it was fine. I think I expected a little more, especially when the trailer made me like genuinely get excited and laugh about it.
That's
I
why I
laughed
say,
through the trailer. So I gave it a 3. You gave it a 4.5. So what we're going to do
mm-hmm.
now, we're going to dive into the deep waters of this. So if you're watching
So,
now,
and I'm
or if
gonna
you're
say
watching on a
this
replay,
for
we're going into spoilers. So
I'm gonna say this for
spoilers
everybody.
right here.
From
Let's
now
go.
on, from this point forward, I'm going to every movie with no expectations.
That's
No expectations. The
that's
only
tough
movie that
though,
I
man.
have, the only movie, and listen to me, the only movie that's coming out that I have high expectations for is the movie with The Rock. That's it. Anything else
Okay.
coming out, I have no expectations.
All
Little to
right.
no expectations.
So
I'm
for
just
so
going
for
to be entertained.
so since you finished off that, I'll jump in with the spoilers part. So if we want to run through it real quick.
Yeah, let's go.
So obviously the movie starts off. They're getting to a wedding. It's Will's wedding. Well, Will. It's Mike Lowry's wedding. Right? And I just even feel like in that car moment, like Martin's a little man. Here's the thing, and we can go through the rest of the movies or just the beats that you want to go through parts. That'd probably be easier. But Will and Marcus always seemed like cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like the coolest of the cool. I mean, in the 90s, they had the number 1 and number 2, or number 2 and number 1 show, however you want to stat, 1A, 1B show of the 90s, right? And in Martin's his characters become very whinier than the first or second one to me.
He will, because if you paid attention and you follow his character, he whined in all of them. Every
He
last one
did.
of them.
He did, but it got to a point where, like lately, in the latter movies, it's a little.
Yeah, but you still have to understand. Why do you think he's whining? He has a what?
What does he have?
A family. So
Okay, he had a family.
We can't be doing all this crazy shit because I got a family I got to go home to.
So let me tee up. This is what I'm gonna say before we went in the spoilers part. I'll name you one other action movie series that does it about as perfect as you could possibly do it. You want to know what you want to know what action series that
What
is?
we talking about? What we talking about?
Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon got
Man,
four.
hold
Well,
on,
wait,
hold on,
wait, wait, Rufus. No, no,
hold
no.
on. Whoa.
This is my time. I reclaim my time. I reclaim. This is my time, Rufus. All
Riggs
I'm
and Murph, whatever we compare them to.
let me get my point out. Okay, let me get my point out. So we started off in the first Lethal Weapon pretty damn serious, didn't we? Riggs' wife and all that stuff. It was Riggs was not as I guess happy, I guess you could say, in the first one compared to the rest of them, right? But through that, he progressively built his the Murtaughs took him in essentially like a dog. The man ate dog biscuits one morning. Okay, and then you keep building. He falls for a girl, right? In the third movie, they get married in the fourth movie. They adopt a kid in the fourth movie. Progression of a character that makes sense to me from dark into the light.
Now hold on.
Even Murtaugh, from retiring to damn near 20 more years on the force.
But hold on. But did Murtaugh not complain the whole time? Every single time he said, "I'm getting too old for this shit."
But see how subtle that was,
Every
though.
single time.
But see how subtle that was. And but Martin was like that in the first and second one. Because even in what was it? Was it Lethal Weapon 3? Riggs was running for the car and Murtaugh came up in the car. Like, Riggs, what you do? Get your slow ass in the car. Like that sort of thing. That sort of thing. Like, I'm cool, Rufus. I'm so cool with the freakouts, man. I really am. I really am. Hey,
Now,
Kahindi
I
just
will give you this. I will say this. I wish, and I understand it's Hollywood, but I wish they would have let they gray show. Like let us know they're getting older. Because you look at Captain Howard. Captain Howard look old as hell, don't it? You see what I'm saying? And you still
well,
got Martin. I mean, I keep calling Martin and Will. You still got Marcus and
we know, they know, we know.
Mike. You still got Marcus and Mike walking around. Their beard still black and beautiful, hair still black and beautiful. I know they say black don't crack, but we get a little gray. You feel me? I wish they would have kind of let that be a little bit more realistic. Because the way they had Captain Howard looking, bro. Come on,
we
dog.
got we have someone wants to join in real quick,
Okay,
so we'll keep talking, Rufus. I'll figure this out on the back end here, but
okay.
But
But
no,
so
like,
okay, so
go ahead.
I understand your comparison. I really, I love both.
I think
of
it's a
those
damn good comparison,
franchises.
Rufus.
I love both of those franchises, but I also look at like I enjoy the fact that Martin is always the opposite to Mike Larry.
I mean, you
Like
need that. I
Martin
get
wants
why
to
you
get
have that.
Martin wants to solve the case. Mike wants to beat somebody ass. You know what I'm saying? Like Martin, like we don't always have to shoot motherfuckers to, you know what I'm saying, to figure out the case. Sometimes you gotta shoot a motherfucker, but every time you don't. You feel me? And I understand the second one when he went through his Wusa meditation phase.
Yes.
I understood that. The third one, I understood when he actually retired, but he started missing it. And this is real life shit. When you retire, you do miss what you used to do. That's why most people, 90% of them, damn near come out of retirement. So
Well, okay.
I get all of that, but like I said, I didn't go into this movie thinking like I'm gonna have to go through this thing thinking logically. I just wanted to go be entertained and see how they were gonna progress from the last film. Like you said, the last film had the little cut
It
scene
had the
at the
teaser
end.
for it.
It had the little
Yeah.
teaser, little
Or
cut
the
scene at the
cliffhanger.
end with him going to the prison and talking to his son. I want to see like if they were gonna really develop that storyline between him and the boy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Which, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I enjoyed that, bro. Like, I enjoyed the fact that his son wasn't such a complete monster. Like, his boy was a monster. Don't get it twisted. But he wasn't nothing like his mama. You get what I'm saying?
I get you, but I'm Rufus. It's tough for me,
I like
man.
it. I like it though.
But let's go.
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just saying, for my end, when I went into it with no expectations, I didn't think about one, two, or three. I just went in it to see four and how they were going to progress as far as the movie itself. You see what I'm saying?
I get it, but if we're it's tough to it gets down to this point because let's go into the spoiler part of it. So obviously they're
Okay.
fugitives now with
Yes.
Will's son.
And
Captain's
it's
been framed.
interesting. It's interesting how that happened.
Yeah,
How
Captain's been
they,
framed.
as everybody knows who watch movies, there's always a nefarious person that you don't see that's pulling the strings of everything. You know what I'm
I
saying?
I I run by the rule of Chris Tucker. Follow the
Listen,
rich white man.
follow the rich white man. You know what I'm saying?
Jackie, like follow the rich white man.
What's that? Rush Hour 3?
Rush
No,
Hour
Rush Hour
Two.
2. Rush Hour 2. So Rush Hour 2, yeah, follow the rich white man. What's his name? Raines? That was his name? Stephen Raines. Yeah. But so yeah,
Still the sorry,
and I
still the
like
best line, Rufus. Still the best line. It's like Ricky Tan, blink for your everywhere, dog. Let's go.
Come on, I'm looking for your ass everywhere. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, but looking for you everywhere, man. Let's go. Back up yourself and let's go.
Hey, do you know they talking about coming out with another one of those? Though?
I don't know if I want it
And another lethal weapon.
Okay, well, that lethal weapon, Rufus, they're genuinely too old for this. But let's dive into Kahindi sort of threw me off. I'm waiting to see if he jumps in here.
Okay.
But just to say more about this one, we did have a lot of action scenes in it, but like I said, I've gotten so used to Michael Bay's action scenes that you can tell, like you can just feel it. We've seen Transformers, we've seen everything else, but his style of action, he gets a lot of flack for a lot of things of just being like the explosions guy, right? But damn it, I like those explosions.
But it's funny, you like his action, but you did not like TNT though.
TNT. He didn't direct that. That was like his production sort of like I don't think he directed that, but it still was like Michael Bay flares to it, right?
Yeah,
like
that's
it still
why
had the same.
And that's why I went into this. I didn't want to think about the directors or none of that. I just wanted to see what kind of cool, because every movie, every new year they come out with some cooler cinematography or something like that. That's what I want. That's what I really enjoy when I go see a movie. Like, what's the new angle they're gonna shoot from, or how they gonna shoot this? How they gonna make it look like we're actually in the fucking movie, like first person shooter? You get what I'm saying?
It was really that I will say like that. Obviously, over time you innovate, right? You make you go ahead and you take your action and you take it up a notch. I get trying to be different and wanting to be different and unique. But I will say this, man. I enjoyed the movie. It's just that there's certain things you come to expect. I know you said expectations. Yours were low. Weren't you didn't have any going in.
I didn't have any.
But mine was like just from the previews. It seemed okay. I'll tell you the reason I went to see it, and it was based off the previews, right? It was because I finally thought I would see Martin Lawrence get a slow motion scene, and he got one. Like that's the reason I saw it because you can make a drinking game out of how many times Will was in slow motion in the second one.
You really could.
And be drunk by the end of it. He did every Will Smith slow motion. Martin went like that, and then he did the dive for with the shot.
the only thing he ain't doing slow motion was put on the damn suit jacket.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's the fun stuff about that's when that movie thrived for me. When I might know why I gave it a 3. I might know why I gave it a 3 now, Rufus.
Why?
It's the son. It's the son and the team.
Well, I knew you didn't like
it's the son and the team.
You can't give it a 3 because the son is highly trained, bro. He a cold piece of work, dog.
Okay, we want to talk about highly trained. Who's going out on this mission with them?
And that's all I'm gonna
say. We're in the spoiler. Okay, Candy's hopping in. Let me see if I can put him in real quick.
Okay, why he?
I don't even know if I have 3. Here we go.
Hold on.
Let me move some stuff around.
Before we say anything about this movie, I'm just gonna say I appreciate you being all famous out there in Cali, but where my hoodie, bro?
You gotta remind me. I have it, bro. You gotta know for real, because there's so much. There's so much stuff that's going on. You got my number, right?
No, I don't. I've been following you though. I see you out there doing your
I
thing,
don't be
dog.
seeing. Yeah, I hate to sound like a fucking.
A
Excuse my
famous
language. I
person?
hate to
No,
sound like a
you
damn.
famous. You do that.
No, I ain't. No, it ain't even that. It's just with work and then all the other stuff, and doing a bunch of shit. I sometimes I forget. You gotta remind. I don't like. It's not that I forget. It's just like it's a sense.
It
Like,
ain't a
oh, let me do that.
priority.
Let me
I
do that.
get
Let
it,
me do
dog.
that.
I get it.
I
I
don't
get
mean
it,
it
bro.
that
I
way.
get it.
But you take after we done. Take down my number, man. It's easier for me because social media is be so much stuff going on like Instagram and Facebook and all those others. You know what I mean? So and
Oh yeah, I
another
feel you.
thing too, my pages too. So some of the pages, you know what I mean? So
I feel you.
yeah. My
I'm
fault, bro. I
trying to.
got you though. I really do. I really do. I got your address and all that. Just shoot me a text out to you this week.
I got you.
So, Kendi,
I feel you.
Yeah.
we're guessing since you hopped on here, you've seen the movie, right?
Man, he
Oh
probably
yeah,
saw it
bro.
last month knowing him.
Dude, I actually did, dude.
Okay, so
Actually, I just
we gave our thoughts on it.
sorry.
We're gonna give the floor to you to sort of give you what you. When we're in the spoiler section too, so let it fly.
I'm gonna let it fly. I'm gonna let that thing fly. Wow. Yeah. I, I I just actually woke up from a nap. So when I turned my phone on, all I saw was y'all going at it. I'm like, hold up.
Well, it was a spur of the moment sort of thing too, man. So because I had just
I was
seen it.
about to say, cause I'm like, I know Dion, I know y'all ain't just not just y'all just going just like I was like, how y'all just hit up, y'all just reached out to Will and y'all didn't even say nothing to me, bro.
No,
I thought for sure. I thought you was the first person you text though.
Nah, I'm just messing with you. I'm not a big wrestling person, bro. So I wouldn't have no insight on that. I'm just talking shit. Yeah. Look, I'm gonna say this though. Hey, I'm gonna say this. Check this out. So if you know me like close from I'm from Miami, right? So um one of the things, bro, the films, Bad Boys, it's element, right? They neck and neck. But Bad Boys is my favorite film all time. The first one. I always get into
Hmm.
debates about the original Bad Boys versus the sequels. And I like
Mm-hmm.
about part one that it was obviously we know that Dana Carvey and to be Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett. We know this, right? But the movie was a complete shot in the dark, and it
Mm.
Oh, no
nailed it.
doubt.
First film was a completely different thing to the other films. So the original Bad Boys. First of all, I love the soundtrack, the music, dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun. Like it's just
It's
intense. Even
yeah, it showed us is well the music. Rufus tipped me off of this going in to this one. There were
Mhm.
certain parts where like you heard that like a
It was
call
the
back
same
to
score.
that
Like
a little
I
bit.
love the
well,
Yeah,
music.
well, it's there, but it's not really
it's
there, right?
not
Let me
as
just
yeah.
give you my.
It's like little
I'm
hints
gonna
of it.
I'm gonna pick right. So I see what they're trying to do, and 30 years later, I see what y'all tried to pull off. Okay, that's cool. I appreciate y'all. The first Bad Boys, you had Will and you had Martin. First of all, Martin was the star, the original star of the film.
He was the first
Mm-hmm.
name. Yeah, he was. He
Yeah,
was. His
Mm-hmm.
name came
Will
first.
was secondary, right? And you had two of the biggest juggernauts, black juggernauts in comedy in primetime television at the height. Like so at the end of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, at the end of towards the end of Martin, they had a film transition into Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
And this 1995, like I watched them film this movie when I was growing up, bro. Like different parts of like Miami, they in Palmetto, Coral Gables, they in Coral Reef, they in like Brickell, like damn. I'm like, damn, my dad was like showing me stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy seeing this, right? Anyways, the movie was a shot in the dark, and they did well. I think Fouché was one of the better villains of the four
Mm-hmm.
films, and like
Mm-hmm.
Taya Leone, if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, I mean, if I'm pronouncing her name right,
No, that was her. Yeah.
the yeah, she was like at her best in that. I watched a lot of her stuff, like the TV shows and other films and stuff. she was at her best in that film, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Will was just like he jumped on the car and he pulls a gun out on him when they kidnapped Julie. He was that right there solidified him as a star. Martin was just like it was just they was just young and they was running around. They was doing a bunch of cool stuff. Um, it reminded me of what if mine was a thing like a current thing. Like that's what it reminded me of, right? And it also reminded me of like I used to always want to see and the Bad Boys crossover. Like I've always thought that as a kid, right?
Which crossover? Say that
And then
again.
Beverly Hills Cop and I've
Oh.
Yeah,
always wanted to see that
yeah,
crossover. Like and you know it could have honestly technically it kind of could have been done considering the spinoff, the LA's Finest
yeah.
TV
Yeah.
show
That's true.
spinoff. And you know they completely. I don't. Obviously, there are different directors and different studios for all four of these films. Well, first one and two, and the three and four different studios and different directors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I saw that they tried to pay homage to the original,
Yeah,
and they tried to like do a lot of fan service, but it just to me it just didn't execute. They, in my opinion, it didn't execute the way I was expecting it to. But part
Yeah.
four was really great. It was fun, and but I was just like, I think they waited too long, especially after part two. So like, part one
Yeah.
dropped,
That was a
the
long time,
original
like
film,
2003 to 22.
yeah, yeah. So 95 to like 203, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we saw what y'all was trying to do. So in the era of 2000, you know what was big in the year 2000, 50 Cent, Puffy, um, the Saint Lunatics, the Diplomats, Air Force Ones,
hmm,
about like the whole era of when Bad Boys 2 and Bad Boys 2 was really good. It
Mm-hmm.
is
yeah,
like a really they did a good as in how they showcase like the dark side of Miami. That shit was fire, bro. Like again, part one is my favorite movie. I can watch the movie front to back. I can add little time of the day. But part two was really good. And I like what they what the evolution of each character. Conrad Howard became yelling, "What did I say? I was there when
To
that
trying
happened."
yeah,
to.
Yeah. And then he goes into like the second coming of Bad Wusan was like he was dripped up and dripped out with his feng shui, and he was
yeah,
a softer captain, but he was still an asshole, but he still cared about them. And I thought that was cool. But then I also felt like when they tried to do the villain, Tapia, he was a bozo. Like it's like my dude, like you're not the they went overseas to go rescue the sister, and that was fire. They had the dope ass team. I felt like I was
So
watching
good.
Transformers and shit. Like it was good. Like I was expecting, like I was waiting for the damn helicopter to turn into a transformer the way the damn movie was. Crazy.
Or the Hummer to turn into
yeah,
Yeah,
something.
something.
Yeah.
they did the whole overseas thing, and I felt like Bad Boys 2, it was too long, and they drug it out a little too much when they got, but it was still dope. And again, I see what they was trying to milk it. They was trying to absorb the magic from the first one, but you can't because the one was just that. It was magic. You can't recreate
Yeah.
Hmm.
the same shit that you did in an original like piece. You know what I'm saying? Because if that was the case, you should have made it came out in '97. You know what I'm saying? Like it should have dropped 97 and 99. Like it just could have kept it going.
Yep.
It could have
Which
been
would
a
have been
Fast and the
wild
Furious
at that
franchise.
time.
It could have, yeah, we could have had the proper merchandise, all that, you know. And then we
Because
get to
what the
part
next,
three.
yeah, because the next year after Bad Boys was that Independence Day for Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The next
a
summer.
lot of you gotta yeah, that was '97. So you gotta understand like that version of Will Smith is like you ain't fucking with him. Because because mind you, all we knew of Will Smith was the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, um, um, what's the other movie the one film, the one prior to everything in '93? Uh,
What, the 6 degrees of separation? Is that the one he was
That
in?
was it. Yeah.
yeah, it
Sidney
was that.
Poitier's
Like, and
son. Yeah.
right, I didn't even watch that movie. I was like, I don't want to watch that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I haven't seen it either.
and I mean, like, I'm cool. But after Bad Boys, the success of Bad Boys, the success of Will Smith, the success of Big Willie style, and I'm gonna tell y'all something, bro. Start sleeping on that man Will, bro, because that Big Willie style album is
Dude.
It's fire.
fire
It
as hell.
is. Yes. I
Fuck
feel
out of
this
here.
with
That was a
This
this
dope ass
thing.
album. Them little singles that he had on that album, like the Miami record, the one that Nas wrote, and then the getting jiggy with it. That was just
Mm-hmm.
and they did what they were supposed to do. But that album,
Mm-hmm.
bro, that was
let
a
me
dope
throw
friggin'
let me throw this out real quick. How do we feel about like not having soundtracks for things anymore? Because
You
every
mean
movie
come?
that used to go, like Bad Boys 2 had a soundtrack, right?
Yeah.
Like Blue Streak, like all movies like that came out had a soundtrack to it.
Yeah.
Now we don't get those. Is that something that you
and
guys miss?
yeah, I think it was an era that was a sign for the time
Mm-hmm.
in certain because we didn't have media like that. So like limited media, a movie can come out and y'all could just before the movie drop, I'm gonna make music, some songs dedicated to the film that I like, and then drop it, and then it gets popular, then it gets noticed by the studio, and then before the movie drop, they use your, and then boom, it's like legit part of the
Mm-hmm.
unofficial official soundtrack because you can do whatever you want now. Back then, the reason why the soundtracks existed is because we didn't have like at a in an abundance because they had to package everything. We wouldn't have known what the film was about. Because remember when Bad Boys first one came out, we had what's her name? Adina Regina?
Adina
No.
Howard.
No, one Adina Howard. It was the Caribbean artist, man. I'm so bad with
Oh, the
names,
one that
man.
sang the Mercy joint on the first one.
Yeah, oh no, that Mercy, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
then you
can't
had
remember. I don't remember her.
you had the I think it was 95 South, the 69 Boys. They had that song. Then you
Yeah.
had the Warren G song. Like all those songs are forgettable except for the Lord of Mercy song. You know what I'm saying? Because it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't those songs weren't really like, okay, I'm on the because of these songs. Like, nah, like
Mm-hmm.
it was the Bad Boys theme song from the damn show and the Aini Kamosi Hot Stepper song. And then you had the other Caribbean song, I forget the lady's name, but those two records, but you didn't think about the soundtrack for the film. You only thought about the movie, and then you do a score for the movie, and then that was it. So then when part two dropped, they made it a point for your ass to go and cop the soundtrack because
Yeah.
they had Puffy you had Nelly on
Mm-hmm.
everything, you had all the big
Jay Z had
rappers.
a
Murphy
song, I
Lee.
think.
They
Yeah,
had yeah.
Murphy Lee. Yeah, you had Jay Z and Timberland. They had like
Yeah.
a big ass. Um, um. So like the soundtracks at a certain era made sense, but then now not music is so like in and out,
Yeah.
and all people care about is clout, and they want to be able to talk to the damn and the so and so's who put these movies together and the followers and pull up all these premieres. You know, if you notice, a lot of these when these films, and it's always like these influencers or so and so's, they go to these events and they be capping, bro. They like, oh yeah, this is one of the biggest songs. Like, shut up. Like you got
Well,
to a no, for I'm just keeping it real. You got there, you're promoting it, you're watching the film, it's a privilege for you to be there. And you watch the movie and you're like, oh damn, this is all the hype was about. It's not like how it was back then because everybody know all the secrets now, and
Yeah.
everybody
And
spoil it. Everything is so bullshit. Like you can't really enjoy a film when somebody want to post it. Like all the Deadpool stuff. Everybody is posting all these Deadpool
yeah.
leaks
They are.
I've been
and
like
I'm
that the entire time.
I'm gonna tell
You,
and I'm gonna put this in the air for y'all real quick. So the scene, not to take away from Bad Boys right now. I'm gonna just say this one thing. That scene when you see Logan and
Wade.
Deadpool walking, yeah, Wade, and you see the front of the building and they shooting and all that, like that clip. That's not even that, bro. And it's not even just them. Like I'm just like people they're literally throwing people off on purpose and all those
it's
the
one of
things that you
those.
see in them trailers,
It's one of
like
those
the Avengers.
Infinity War. We're all running towards the screen, right? That was. I went
Hell
back and
yeah.
watched that trailer
Were you
after.
pissed?
Mm-hmm.
No, I wasn't. I was actually happy
Okay.
that it was that because
Okay.
I went into the movie like, oh, I've seen that, but why would they show that off? That would be like the first Avengers showing off their first team up,
Mm-hmm.
that little circle shot, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you live for that moment for that movie.
Oh,
But
for the people
I
that don't know, this is a side mission. This is a
Trey,
side mission.
yeah, we'll get back to Bad Boys in a second because I want to know what did you think of the fourth movie, man? Like, what was your like?
Well, I'm gonna get there because part three was one of those films because they were back, and I'm a Will Smith, Martin. I'm
Mm-hmm.
from that era. We are all from that era where we was waiting. TV show gave me confidence to talk to girls. Like Will Smith, the Fresh Prince of Bel Air was like I was like I resonated with. I felt like I was watching one of my cousins on TV. Like he was just wild and crazy, and he was just fun, and it was just dope
He
to
was the
see
coolest
him.
guy on TV, man. He was
That's
one
a
of the coolest
fact,
guys.
bro. Like, fact. He was like our Zach Morris. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
Even
He
though
was
I
our
do,
Zach Morris.
I feel like Zach was a cool guy too. Only guy in the high school with a cell phone, man. Come on.
Yeah,
So
dog.
in the
No,
backpack.
Zach was no. Zach was a gangster. Like the whole gangsta cast was hard, bro. What you
Look,
mean?
him
I'm
and
saying
Slater. Him and Slater.
for real, like they was like the corniest cool dudes ever, like in the '80s. Like they, you know, yeah. So the third one, when I saw it, I saw what they did. So they basically took Bad Boys, and then they dipped it in Bad Boys 2, and then they dropped it in this new era, this COVID era.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they had so much restrictions they couldn't do something to get it. But I wasn't really thoroughly. I didn't enjoy the third one at all. I watched
Same
it three
here.
times. I was like, it's too slow. I think it's too hard to try to dun 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 dun. And then I went and got the updated version of the Porsche. Like I get it, but it was just like, you know, dropped this fourth one. They tried to do the same thing, and I saw the Easter egg. That was cool. That was real
Mm-hmm.
cool. Um, um, was the fact that we got to see the daughter and little Reggie grow up,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
that house, man. That house, the second house. So both houses, both Burnett houses in Miami. You can go visit them houses. You know what I mean? Because of where they're located, which is really cool. Um, but to see Reggie when he was a little boy, and then he get busy Call of
I mean,
Duty,
Yeah.
he walked through
and
them
then they see
boys,
the
man.
right,
All I can
and then
tell
you
you,
see the
all I'm telling
daughter,
everybody, just Reggie's the Marine, bro.
right, and then you see the daughter. You see the daughter when she was from a baby, dog. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like it makes us look. I feel old. Like I remember when she was on eating the grapes. Now she a whole grown ass woman having
Yeah.
her own kid. Like that shit is crazy to me, dude. Like because I was like, bro, I was like 11 when I saw that little girl. Like and now she grown, you know.
Yeah.
And then also the other boys, I'm like, damn, what the other boys at? What the other sons at? You know, I want to see them. You
Yeah.
know.
And
They
Teresa
also
Randall didn't come back for
dropped the
that one either.
they completely dropped the ball a couple times in the last two Bad Boys films, and um him getting married to the chick. I'm like, ugh, where the hell Sydney at, dog? You feel me? Like
Dude,
I was waiting
okay.
for Sid to come.
Okay, all right. Let me jump in. I want to get tagged in on this one because LA's Finest was a really good show. I enjoyed it. I think
Yeah, I did too.
did it run for 2 seasons, 1 or 2
Yep, two
seasons. It was
seasons.
real short, and then
So
it got
Seasons.
canceled. I was thinking to myself, like when I went into the third one, oh, how dope would it be if that's the crossover movie for them too? You know,
Yeah.
I would
or
have been fired. That would have been great. It
yeah,
would have been a
or
like
just
a two-parter.
yeah, or just knowing but even like again, this is a spoiler for the last episode. There was some Cuba stuff that was gonna be tied to them, like the whole Bad Boys 2 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think was like a teaser at the end of their season or their series, really. But just to like throw her off to the side and here's this. Okay, here's a question: was that the woman he married? Was that the first time we've ever seen that woman, or was she in the
Yeah,
third
that
one?
was the first time we've seen her.
Yeah, supposedly she was the third.
The
Look,
therapist
bro,
scene.
right. I would have much rather her. I would have much rather him marry their boss, that the lady that he had the
The
slight
Spanish
interest
lady.
in part three.
Mm-hmm.
That would have made way more sense for
Yeah,
him
because
to be with
when I
her.
saw a new face, I was like, why? And because
Yeah,
it didn't make sense. The whole Sid, it should have been Martin. It really should have been Martin's sister.
and
We
That
had
would have been. I think that would
and,
have been
and
tight if he had to end up marrying Sid. That would have been cold.
yeah. No, it would have been fire because it would have made for a better team. Would have expanded. They had a perfect opportunity to integrate the LA's finest
they
team
did.
to the Bad Boys. LAPD have too many leaks. Then LA would have boomed. Then Dwayne
Yep.
Martin boom. Like you would have
Oh,
had a
Dwayne Martin,
squad.
that's right,
Like
and
you know what I'm
Saracen,
saying?
Matthew Saracen.
Yep.
Yeah, because cause dead ass, if you would have watched if you pay attention to like that's what I liked about what they did with LA's finest, because Dwayne Martin is technically the other Will Smith. If you were
Yeah,
that
yeah,
the Will Smith esque type character in LA's finest, yeah, real talk. Like
Yeah.
that's what he was. That nigga,
and he
it would
and
have
Will
made
are
more
tight too.
sense.
So
Yep, it would have made more sense for Jessica Alba and Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Martin, the crossover in Miami, or they would have had a split film and they would have went to LA. You know what I'm saying? And ran into Axel Foley. I said what I said, nigga.
this would have
But I'm
been
Um,
saying
wild to think.
it would have been after we all know after our favorite character got shot in the head. It would have been cold if they would have came in that next scene.
Okay, let's talk about that real quick
why would
because
they should have just gave him his own fucking show. Like that
uh,
was
okay,
A
so
mid opportunity.
I was in the movie theater with it was a packed theater, and when they take him out on the gurney, I was the only one who laughed. I thought him being too tall for the gurney
For
and
the
his
gun,
feet dragging.
yeah.
I thought that was an hilarious
Hey,
way to
remember?
exit a
Yeah,
character.
yeah. Just remember the talk we had
I,
before this about This Is Us and us not crying. That's you right now. That's you right now.
No, but This Is Us has some
bro,
serious beats. They didn't have to show Fletch on the gurney, on the
No, they
stretcher,
did. They
and
did,
hanging
dog.
out, but his feet were too long, and they were dragging the ground. I thought it was funny, and I apologize to the people I was
yeah.
next to, but it was hilarious to me.
No, I mean I get it. I'm pretty sure. Like, but they dropped the ball, wasted opportunities in like these films. And then it would have been cool, like he got the okay, so imagine this Bad Boys for Will and Mike are getting older. It's visibly shown that they're fucking old and they
Rufus just
Mm-hmm.
said
you
that.
know,
Yep.
yeah, and Mike is trying to stay young, all of that, which is that's commendable and I appreciate that. But y'all should have did that shit 20 years ago
Hmm.
because it
Yeah.
was like we could have had the sequel, and then we could have turned it into the franchise. And them boys could have been the captains. They could have been the Howards, and they could have had a new
That's what
team,
I was thinking.
Bad Boys. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I was
And then
thinking.
and then
Instead of them
Conrad
still
in
being
part
detectives.
three, right? And in part three, they killed off Conrad. It's like, why the fuck would you kill off the most important character of the entire franchise, even though he had
Yeah.
less in the very first film? Like
Okay,
Conrad is the glue to that film because if you think about it, Marcus and Mike and Con are the three that you think about when you think about this. Because bro, if you have to go back and watch the first one. Part one was just like
him taking those shots in the
like
gym, man, him
Yeah, dog.
beating the hell out of that backboard.
but bro. Hey, and I don't know I don't know how old y'all boys are, but remember back in like I don't know if y'all remember back 90s. That's one thing I love about these movies, the eras, bro. Like you pay there's like little things, like little subtle things in these films that will take place. Okay, so Howard had the hair plugs in the film, right?
Yeah,
And that was the thing back in the like the little hair plug shit. And then they had the Reebok, was it Reebok? Yeah, if you pay attention to his shoes, that was the most popular sneaker in 1994, 95. And Will had on the Bo Jacksons. They had the
Oh,
Junior
he
Seau. They had the
did.
black. He had the Junior Seau's on, but he had the black ones on. I forgot who had the black ones. But Seau had the blue and white ones, and Will had the black ones. and it was a bunch of different sneakers and different products in these films that people don't pay attention to. That like when Bubblicious was a proper
Yeah.
thing, and the Skittles, those are like little subtle, like little jokes of the time, that like signs of the time. And in the second one, and bright colors and pastels, and we're in Miami, and I like
It was
all that.
2000s, man. It was early
Yeah,
2000s.
it was Miami, right? You know what I'm saying? Third one, it was kind of depressing. They're getting old. They're not really in Miami. They shot the whole movie in Atlanta. They only shot in the one part of one. I'm like, that is not Miami, bro. That's Atlanta right there. And then you get the billboard. You see a 404 phone number on the fucking billboard. Like, man, if you don't go somewhere with that shit.
Well, then they shot some of the fourth one up here too, didn't they? In Atlanta?
They have to. They had to.
Yeah.
I think
right down the street from your house at Tyler Perry Studio.
Yeah.
I'm right down the street from Tyler Perry.
See?
I'm right down the street, Rufus, from Tyler Perry.
Right. You know, I'm gonna have to get my man on. I don't know if y'all know him. He's an actor. His name is Geechee Gamba. He was in LA's Finest, man. That's one of my really close. He out there, so I can, you know what I'm saying? Like he's a dope.
I hate that show. It got canceled. Like I really do hate.
It was a good show. It had so much freaking potential. They could have brought. It would have been fire to have like the cameos. They would have had like a Marcus Burnett pop up on their ass for the one time. They doing like a certain type of a mission, and then Mike Lowry come and save her. It's like, you know what I'm saying? And
even if like even like through Gabrielle Union, like all those hookups, her phone's ringing and it says like Mike, and she doesn't pick it up. Just connect the universe somehow easily to give you an idea of like maybe we can do this somehow. I was like, just like write it in the script. See what happens, man. See if we can get it.
You know how I found out LA's Finest was the damn Bad Boy spinoff?
How's that?
When my man Geech he had just got cast to be on the show. He was, I got this. He was wearing my hoodie, and I was like looking at the BTS. I'm like, yo, bro. I said, yeah. I said, yo, this shit look like, I'm looking at the font. I'm like, why does she look like Bad Boys? He was like, oh, and I'm really looking at. I'm like, I just Bad Boys, like the font, right? Then her name was Sid, and I'm looking at Gabrielle. I'm like, wait a minute, is that Sidney Burnett? And he was like, yeah. I said, wait. Then I saw Fletcher. I saw John Sally. I'm like, wait. I was like, hey, bro, is this like a Bad Boy spinoff? He was like, that's exactly what it is. I'm like, bruh.
Yep.
And it was automatically invested.
Yeah, and it worked. And I don't know, like these last two movies for me, like you were going through them, Candy. The third one, okay, we got it. We added a son, which Rufus already knows. Like that's I'm almost like it. My foot's off the train. My foot's off the train. You just gotta bring me back in somehow. And I not a fan of that. I wasn't even. I didn't.
I thought it was stupid, dude. I'm sorry.
You're not the only one. We all three thought it was stupid. I just don't harp on it as much as y'all two. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like
okay. Let me say this. Okay, I'm gonna say this right here, Bruce. You right? I mean, you ain't harping because you ain't real. You ain't harping. nah, I'm just playing, bro. Nah, you know what the problem is? Is the whole son thing, and then you had a whole Mexican son. Like, I see what you did. Like, okay, I'm thinking he's gonna be the heir of the Bad Boy.
We're gonna take it over, right? Yeah, I thought the same thing.
And then when we saw what Reggie was doing, his CO Call of, and I saw the Easter egg because he was playing COD.
Yeah.
While he was in, he did some COD shit. I'm like, okay, we're gonna get Reggie, and we're gonna get the son, and we're gonna get the High School Musical people. Like, that would have been fire, right? Nope. That was another wasted opportunity with Reggie. Like, Reggie could have came in and would have been on some gangster shit with them. Back up, they would have been over. Like, they would have stepped up again. But then again, they didn't have to take over. They could have just, we bowing out. This is the end of the franchise. We can do something else with the other kids.
Yeah, but your money, your Hollywood's money is Will and Martin. Like that movie theater was packed, and more people were coming in as I was leaving. So
Yeah.
that's gonna still be their money. So
But
they do the
here's the
typical
thing.
thing of like adding people on. Like they added Vanessa Hudgens and that other guy in the third one, right?
I just wasn't jacking that.
But then like I think, and Rufus, I brought this up too, of like reasons why it was okay for me. I want this goes back to Godzilla a little bit too, Rufus. I want just Martin and Will. Like just I think that's enough, man. Like granted, they get people to help them out on that last mission in every single movie, but that the dynamic between them is where the money's at. Like
Found
that's
out what happened
where
to Sanchez and Ruiz.
I know off screen. We felt
I
like
was pissed. I was
really.
mad. I was like, how the fuck do you do
Yeah,
that?
I wanted
Like,
them to come back, and I still don't know what happened to them.
So
But
we
now
kill them
we know
off screen.
They died in Cuba. Yeah.
We killed them off screen after all that. Man, come on. You can't give me an
you
off
trying
screen
to
killing.
you gonna the OG their OG rivals 95 when they said, "Hey, it's some real shit. This shit can get you in. Let's go." And then they got killed for real. Like and then on top of that, what I was really mad about when Sanchez in the first one, I'm like, them niggas didn't even do shit. Like, what was the point of having them come help y'all? Like, I was like, how the fuck did they even do that? You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
but they were the same characters in the second movie, right?
Same.
No, they were different characters. No, they were different guys.
They were different guys in the second one.
I
thought so because the years didn't line up.
No. So Sanchez Ruiz, they're older. They were actually older than Will and Martin. It wouldn't have made sense for them to be like what it was. Like how many years later after part? Shit. How many years has it? Yeah,
you said 2023 to 20. When did it come out? The
2003.
95.
Well, the second one came out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the third one came out was 2020. What?
2020, I think.
Was
21?
The third
21 or 22?
Like during the pandemic. It was during the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah. It wouldn't have made sense for them to be because there would have been a hell of a lot older, like for them to kind of like keep up as like, with them. So that's why they had newer guys with the same concept, the same comic. I mean, it was still Michael Bay, so I still what he was doing. But I like what he did in part 2. Like basically part 2 was just transform without the robots.
And Candy, this is why I liked it. This is why number 2 is my favorite Bad Boys movie. We start off with action. That car scene from the Zopound to the boat being thrown. That's a good 15 minutes. And then we say like, hey, we're gonna go to the Haitian's house too. We're gonna go to the Zopound and we're gonna call him the devil in his house. Like that's what we're gonna do. Then minutes after that, we're right.
Welcome.
Yeah, and then minutes after that, we steal Dan Marino's car and we go.
Yeah.
It was just action. That's how you run a sequel. And we get to these other two. It was slow. They were slow.
Do y'all think it was slow because of the actors that they're using? I mean, they can't move like they was doing, bro.
No, I brought up Lethal Weapon, and you didn't give me that. Lethal Weapon 1 through 4.
Danny Glover was already too old for it.
No, I'm just saying Lethal Weapon 1 through 4. Danny Glover was like 41 in the first Lethal Weapon.
Bro, let me put y'all on the standard, right? Hold on, let me put y'all on the standard, right? Check this out. So, check this shit out. So, if you look at the formula and you look at these formulas, these are the formulas that work. And these are the ones, and that's why they're good. And they'll never ever go out of style. And I will always pick them, right? So, Die Hard 1, the first Die Hard film.
We're going here. We're going here.
We going there.
We're going here.
Okay, Lethal Weapon, the first one was cool. But Lethal Weapon 2
is probably the best of the four.
That's a fact. Yeah. So we're gonna go Die Hard 1, Lethal Weapon 2, then you're gonna step into the first Bad Boys. 3 films, the formula is so my apologies. I've missed one and I'm so sorry. Beverly Hills Cop. The first Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, the first one.
And I could probably pour Cobra in there, the original Beverly Hills Cop script, which was Cobra. Fun fact for you little niggas don't know nothing.
It's all right. Cobra can stay.
But you for Beverly Hills Cop, Lethal Weapon,
Die Hard.
Lethal Weapon 2, Die Hard. Okay, boys, and you put those films in, and you look at how the formulas are done. That's how you do a fucking movie. And I'm gonna tell you a new movie that followed the formula because of I I don't understand why the movie did it's not a favorite, but if you watch Captain Marvel, same formula because it was obviously the 90s. From the sound effects to the music to the scoring, it was 90s as fuck. Like
Yeah,
the
it was.
bullets, the sound of the cars, and then those are the things that make like really good cinema, right? The problem is now everybody is so fucking famous. Even the non-famous people are famous. No one wants to put in the work anymore. Everybody wants it right now. These are the stars and actors that we watched and we grew up watching on television who worked their ass off to get to where they're at, and they put in the time and the work, get those great names. You cannot tell me you can't name an actor of the new generation that you are a fan of without forgetting their fucking name or pulling them up on Google. I can name 5 random ass
That's true.
actors right now from 40 years ago. Tell you what they were best, what they're known
Look,
for.
I can only tell you
You
who
know
they
what I'm
are and what
saying?
movies I saw them in. I don't know none of their names.
Exactly. You can just say Patrick Swayze. You can randomly pick all these damn actors out,
Yep.
and they did what they left the mark on you. They resonated with you in your soul. They resonated with you they inspired you to create an all-star fucking prime podcast and shit. Like these are the people that it's just a specific theme, and it's a specific tone. And when we were talking about them filming Bad Boys in Miami, filming in Miami. You know why? Because they got so many leaks. Everybody's gonna take a picture. Everybody's gonna fuck up the vibe. They're gonna ruin. They're gonna leak. We didn't even know Bad Boys 4 was even said something, and we
No,
didn't
because
even
your
get
ass
Bad
can't
Boys
get on
4
Tyler
promo.
Perry Studios, cuz.
Yes,
You
you
can't get
can,
on there, bro.
bro. You we didn't even get any promo.
Nope.
That Bad Boys 4 was like a fucking Beyonce album with no promo, dog.
Hey, Rufus,
All you
Riley,
saw,
Riley,
it was like,
Rufus, Riley, and Huey got in there.
oh, okay then. All right, that's what we doing. That's what we doing.
What?
These niggas too glistening.
It was like you looked up
Yo,
and
dog.
Will and Martin was just promoting Bad Boys, and you didn't even know it was a movie coming out. For real.
Yeah, I mean, they showed Will had it on his socials, like on his Instagram, but it was like around the time where like it was done pretty much, you know. There's some leaked pictures I think I saw of them on like a building here in Atlanta, but other than that, I think that was about it. But no, I mean, okay. Here's a question for this: is this the last one, and do we need another?
I personally don't think so. I think they're gonna, if there's not another film, there's gonna be some sort of a series or something. Because
Another
it has to
spinoff.
be.
A spinoff of what though, Rufus?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, and this is what I'm thinking. I don't mean to cut you off, big dog. So at the end of the movie, when Will tell his boy go out there and be good, I'm thinking that he could become part of the spinoff of him trying to be good or whatever. You see what I'm saying? That's the only way it could be a spinoff.
Trying to right his wrong, sort of thing.
Yeah, trying to be a
you
good
know
person.
what? I see where you're going with this, but that little motherfucker is irredeemable, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think there's.
I've been saying it the whole time. He's a cold piece of work, bro. He'll
Yeah, I don't.
I mean he is, but it's what he killed off Howard, and then you shot your dad a bunch of times. It's like my nigga, that shit is irreversible, dog. Like
a foot to the chest too, didn't?
Yeah, and shit. Like ain't no way you ain't coming back from that. You know.
But here's the thing with Hollywood: they can make an irredeemable person. They can make you love that person because they do it a lot.
Name one.
Yeah. Look. I'll name a couple.
From
let me do it for you. Let me do Vegeta.
I mean,
there it is.
Every new member in the damn Fast and the Furious crew.
They weren't,
Yeah.
bro.
Look at yo, dude, I was like, shut up,
I'm
bro.
just thinking. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking real quick.
Bro, bro, Shaw killed off most of their team, like they families,
Okay,
like in
yeah,
the
yeah,
part
you're
together.
right.
I'm just
But
saying.
no, he didn't kill him. What you
The
call it?
fuck
He
he
tried to
did.
Survived.
kill him. He killed
Big
Hans,
brother
bro.
Shaw
He tried
came
to,
through to kill everybody. Remember after his little
Wait,
brother got hurt.
but
yeah.
okay. Wait a minute. Jason Statham's character, right?
Yeah, big
Jason
brother Shaw.
Statham is he's the
He didn't.
brother.
He didn't.
He's the
He didn't
brother.
kill off dude from Tokyo Drift. He came back,
Yeah, he
didn't he?
did. They no, listen. Let me tell you something, bro. He did kill him off. He killed him off. They just used them Hollywood Dragon Balls to bring his ass back. Brought
There
him
you
back.
go.
You talking about, and then his brother. They killed his brother off in the hospital because his brother was murking
Yeah.
everybody. Then he got his own movie with the right, and
Yep.
then
Made
in
him
the
look a irredeemable person. Made y'all love him.
made y'all love him, and then Charlize Theron. Your help. I know I killed your baby mama, but I need your help.
Hey, but
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well,
Once you pulled up in that 2026 DeLorean, I was like, I don't give a fuck who she is. I want to help
okay,
I was
so
like,
Kennedy. So real quick, like we gave our scores for it, like out of 5. What are you giving this bad boy? Sort of fourth one. Ride or die.
yeah.
They screwed up the titles, but we'll give it to them. Ride or die. What are you
What's the
giving it?
highest score? What's the
1 out
highest
of
score?
5.
5 stars.
1 out of 5.
Fire
Okay, for
flames.
sure. I give it a. I want to give it a higher score just because I'm a fan of the franchise, and my nitpicks are really like cutty, like real. I have my nitpicks are deep cut, but some of the Easter eggs will. Okay, I'll give them the Easter eggs. Michael Bay pulling up in the '95.
In the car, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the original car from the original film, that was cool. The little dude from the internet with the what was he the
You know what? I
Yeah,
didn't
the
know.
little
I
the,
the
knew who he.
African guy.
I knew who he was, but you want to know what's wild? I really felt my age in there because when he did that, half of the crowd laughed. Like,
Yeah.
like half of the like maybe more than half of the crowd laughed because I was like, oh, I know who he is. I don't know his name, but I've seen him.
I
yeah
don't think
And
nobody know his name.
and
But
once he
he's
did
everywhere.
that,
yeah.
the half the crowd in there laughed. I was
You
like,
know that, and I
He,
don't mean to cut you off, but you know he was even being promoted when Tom Cruise came out with that last Mission Impossible. He was hanging with him.
well, I mean,
you
it's
know
the
what
thing
it
to
is
do now,
too.
right?
He that's the that like media kids. That dude he makes millions on TikTok, bro.
Yeah.
Millions. You
Yeah,
know.
and I mean,
Um.
and his following is like it's like Logan Paul in WWE right now. Like, how many more eyeballs are
Boy.
getting on that because he's wrestling
Because you know
there?
what? It's just easy now. Like nobody
It's
like
yeah.
in the work anymore. Like no one's putting in any of the work. Like in about 20 years, Hollywood is just gonna be whatever. Like being a star is just like, hey, 10,000 followers. Like it's just gonna be like that because it's nobody is working, man. We're relying on keep us afloat. We're milking Will Smith and Martin Lawrence as Marcus Burnett and Mike Lowry in the year 2020.
But
We're
you can say
relying
that a
on
lot.
Tom Cruise.
You can say that about a lot
We're
of
no
people,
listen.
man. Ghostbusters
We're
just
relying
came
on
out. Like
Tom,
same.
bro. Tom Cruise. Who never ages. Like this dude. It's just weird, man, that nobody has stepped up and has taken over these roles, next big so and so's. We're still relying on the Denzels. Like everybody that was popular in the 90s and in the 80s, the early 2000s, we're holding on to their work ethic and their star power to keep certain things afloat, and it's just not working, man. I'm sorry, it just does not work. So the Bad Boy is my score from a 1 out of 5. Personally, I wanted to give it a high score, but I'm gonna give that shit a whole ass 3. And the reason why
I
I
went.
say
I went same. You're not alone. I went the same.
yeah, the reason I give it a 3 is because it was a try hard ass movie, and I had a good time watching it. It's like the score. I hate when people remix original pieces to try to make it sound like their own, and it just sounds worse. Like I see what y'all try to do. Whatever. Like it's the same thing with Ron Wasserman. Ron Wasserman, original composer for the X-Men theme song. Well, he
Mm-hmm.
didn't do it. Crew that the two brothers, I forgot their names, they did it, and it just doesn't sound like the original X-Men theme song. Like it sounds like it, but it doesn't.
It's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
You hear
the
the little
the
subtle
the
differences.
blatant, yeah, you can hear them. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that they just need to make Bad Boys work. But for the most part, they probably should have just left it alone after the third one
The third one.
because
Yeah.
perform the way we wanted it to, or just try to get Michael Bay. I mean, I know he's a consultant on the film, but bring him
Yeah,
back, man. Just bring
like
Michael Bay
what?
back.
Is he not directing anymore? Like, what's the
He
deal with
no,
Michael Bay?
he So on those last ones, he just was an advisor. That's why he was in
Mm-hmm.
the last two films. He's
So that's why
not
you still have
directing
those
it.
certain shots in the film
Yep,
because
yep.
he's consulting.
And they tried to mimic
But
it, like the scene where
the
Will is sitting at the
Yeah.
and they have the B-roll. That's a Michael Bay shot. That's a straight Michael Bay. That whole they call them the hero shots. When Will
when they're
and Mark
getting up,
the
yeah. I
the
felt like
360
that.
camera and it's up.
Yeah.
I felt like it came too early in the fourth movie. Like it was very early in the movie when we saw that shot, that circle shot, that iconic shot sort of
Mm.
thing. It felt early to me. I was like, man, we're just in this thing and we're already getting that. It was always done at pivotal moments. Oh, before that, I know they're getting older and stuff too. How did we feel about Mike Lowry getting panic attacks? I have thoughts on that where I actually have panic attacks, so I get it. But
I
he
like it.
getting older and he's thinking that things are being taken away from him or he can never be happy, sort of thing. I don't know, but
I
I
like.
didn't enjoy it.
I'm gonna tell you why I enjoyed it realistically, and like I told you, I went into this thing thinking not thinking about logic or whatever,
Just
but
blind.
considering what he went through, all what he went through, him being shot, having to be come back, get healthy or whatever. Panic attacks will happen when you in some shit.
Yeah, and I would have.
I don't give a fuck how much shit you been. I've seen Marines have panic attacks, bro. So it's real shit.
Okay, so here's the thing I kept thinking about. Like, are we getting too real? Because again, Rufus, we've talked about action movies at length.
Yeah.
Do we want characters within our action movies to be fighting through stuff? Because the first
I
movie
mean,
the first Lethal Weapon movie, like we talked about, Riggs was going through it. Riggs was his wife had died. He was drinking, and then by the second movie, third movie, he's eating dog biscuits out of the Murtaugh's house. That's the kind of life I want for Riggs. The rest, and he got married, and he adopted a kid too. So,
but he
I
had to
don't
crawl
know.
up out of that bottle. Remember, you still got to crawl up out of that darkness. You got yourself. You have to make yourself crawl up out of that shit.
But
And
Mike
so
Lowry it's like how Candy talks, like or said, they were so cool in those first two movies, man. And then they're still kind of cool in the
and
second.
then, like I told
last
you,
two.
in that second movie, they started bringing realistic shit into it with them getting older. Remember?
In the third movie.
Yeah, in the third movie when Martin got real fat and retired and all that shit.
But remember,
Like,
but you also got to remember,
real,
but you also got to remember though, and how long he's been in the business. He's been around since the 70s.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He's been around a long time.
Yeah, he's been around because I mean that
like Martin
the TV show.
What's happening?
Yeah, it would have been. I think it would have been a dope progression to see them, like we talked about, get older. Because what was that? Again, I keep referencing Lethal Weapon because I felt like Lethal Weapon did a really good job with 4 movies, for 4 buddy cop movies, right? The fourth one, Jet Li kicked their ass, man, and we knew they weren't winning that. Them boys were that's the first tag team they'd had in the series where they were like, "All right, guys, like, all right, let's get up and do it."
Some backup,
dude, man. Like that would have been like they hinted on that in the third one when he was running, when they were like running or whatever, and that's when he got shot. But it would have been dope to like not see them. I don't know. We'll make it to that car. No, just him running and getting winded. Give me that instead of the panic attacks. I don't know. The panic attacks threw me off a bit.
It was something you wasn't expecting, right? That's what they was trying to do right there. And
it came out of left field too. It felt like too, because he's always been the coolest and calm guy for me, and and now he's at what point is he at in his life now? Obviously, he knows he has a son, and he's finally married. Are those the two things that, like, I guess takes his
all that stuff I was telling you
whatever
about
Mike
Marcus
Lowry
and the
is
way,
away?
all that stuff I was telling you about Marcus and the way he was feeling in the first two movies about having a family, Mike is feeling that shit now because now
I
he does
understand.
have a family. You see what I'm saying?
Bro,
So I
I
understood the panic attacks.
and he's dysfunctional. Like you got a son out there that's a damn killer. He killing everybody out there, and then you just married some that was your quote unquote off screen therapist. Because I could have sworn the therapist was in the Wusa chick in part two. I'm just saying that.
Yeah,
But you know,
she was white,
they
wasn't
sent
she
him to
too?
remember Captain
Hispanic.
Howard sent him to many therapists because he was just killing people. Remember?
Yeah, I think that was just a throwaway, man. Like it was like let's
He should have
marry
either
him to someone who we don't know even know or care about. I didn't care. Honestly, I didn't care about her surviving or not.
Damn.
Like no, I'm just saying. Like that sounded bad. Let me clean that up.
It sounded real.
I did. I didn't
did you
feel
think
like if it was. Yeah, if it was Sid, I felt a different way. Like, oh crap, like that sort of thing. But we saw her handle herself in the second movie and on a TV series. I ain't worried about her.
Mm-hmm.
But if you would have set this up in the third movie and then there's somebody in the second that we know, instead of just somebody else coming out of left field that he's marrying, I'm like, I want him to be happy, but all right.
There's a character you just didn't care for.
They should have either brought back. They should have brought back Sydney, or they should have. They should
let him and old girl hook up.
Yep. The captain or whoever she is.
Give me that because I felt bad for her getting beat in that elevator.
Yeah.
Like I felt more for her then than I did for like Will's wife getting dragged out or
kidnapped.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, shit. Why we ain't?
Now I gotta watch Lethal Weapon, man, because they rolled up in Murtaugh's house and taped his mouth, and that shit scared the hell out of me.
Set it on fire.
No, I'm talking about when like the crew rolled up to the house to scare his family, and they were in his bedroom, and they duct taped him and his wife.
That was the second time they rolled up in Murtaugh's house, man. Somebody rolled up in his house. Remember?
Well, his house gets destroyed every movie.
I know, right? I know. Yeah, it really does.
Why do you want to go back to Africa?
Say what?
I said, why do you want to go back to Africa?
Murtaugh? I don't know. We never got to that point, did we?
Wait. You want oh, wait.
He got the joke. Yeah, he got it.
Yeah.
Rufus, he goes, hey, Rufus, when he was like, he's like, because you're black.
Yeah.
Black. Yeah.
He said that. I looked at my mother. I'm like, why he said that? And my mother, when she broke it down, she was like, look, this ain't Africa. This the Africa. This look. I was like, wow.
I don't know, man. I don't for Bad Boys. I think I'm good here. Like if this is
you don't want another one.
If this is it, it's fine because I'm on Candy's train of thought. How dope would it have been if it would have just been like if it would have carried on sooner after that first?
The only way it can work. The only way it can work. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying like even the gap between like what the first movie and the second one. That was kind of fine, but even just between that time or gap in time, if you got in like 2-3 movies, then let's say 3 in that time, it would have stuck to those formulas of those buddy comedy movies, those action movies, and I don't think it would have. I don't think our last two outings would have been like this. Is all I'm saying. I would have. Yeah, but go ahead, Kenny. Go ahead.
No. I what you're saying. But I think also to end it out would be since it's Sony, they can do a mini series of them retiring and bowing out and making it really good, and then that's the final hurrah in the Bad Boys. Like because you can only do it for so long. It's not a Fast and the Furious.
No, it's not that.
It invents itself every 3 films. Like it went from street racing to freaking
The Avengers.
heist movies to thieves to stupid, like straight up like Lefty, I'm gonna drop the car and drive it off a bridge, and it's gonna like I'm like what? Like the way they do stuff in these films. I mean, first of all, enjoy the Fast and the Furious movies. Okay, shout out to them because the first one is still fire though. The first one is part two is really is like I'm anything Miami. I'm biased, so I don't. That's just me.
Well,
Like all about the
I'm just
the
thinking
Benjamins.
about what you literally just said before you was talking about Fast and the Furious. If they did give them a mini series, I think that would be dope as hell.
It would,
give them a mini series,
even if we didn't get a.
And
sorry, even if we didn't get a, even if we didn't get a film. Exactly. Even if we didn't, even if we didn't get this fourth movie though, bro, it would have been dope if it was like a little mini series, like a little 8 episode.
And give them like they go off into the sunset and just go do what they're gonna be, do whatever it is they're gonna be. You see what I'm saying? I think that would be dope as hell.
And tie up all the loose ends in LA Finest. Just
revive
the show.
That's my biggest thought. Like use now I'm thinking series, like a little mini series of some sort, stream somewhere. I don't know where Sony would. Where does Sony stuff ends up? Do they have an app or streaming? Do they have something?
Paramount or whatever, Paramount Plus or whatever.
Sony stuff is via like Paramount and or Amazon.
Okay, that's why I thought it may have been Prime. But I say, honestly, you use that to tie it up because I'm thinking like, what would be that thread that both could work with, and seeing how LA's Finest ended with like hints of Bad Boys 2 of it, like the whole Cuba stuff. I think that's what you circle back to.
I would love to see Marcus Burnett see it and my man Ernie Hudson in a scene together.
I forgot Ernie Hudson was in that show. It was his dad. Yeah. Ernie Hudson's like what, 73 and jacked. Nobody. He's in great shape, man. Ernie Hudson's in great shape.
He's buff. And he eat buffalo meat. He big as he walk around like this. You know we fighting ghosts, right?
Yeah. Rufus, did you ever see what was the first one?
Yeah, I apologize. My wife is calling from the DR.
Oh, well, we were about to wrap up here. We went long here, man. Hendy, did his run in. I'm just gonna make sure I send him the links from here on out, man. Did his run-ins,
Man, it's just specific stuff, like certain things, like the Rock thing. Y'all cool. I missed out because I don't.
Well, we didn't do that one live either. We taped that one, or recorded that one. Boy, I sound old. Yeah, we taped that one, Rufus. But no, we're gonna see if I can keep doing these on Thursdays and figuring out whatever topics. We'll start a group message,
dude. Dude, you gotta do me a favor, man. I know I want I love how this backdrop of Will and Martin look. I want something like a banner. If you can make,
I owe you a banner, don't I? I do owe you a banner.
Shit, if you charge, man, what's your cash app here, boy?
I just honestly, I do them for fun, man.
Hey, seeing this little $40.
Man, I'll work on some stuff and see what I can get to you. See what you like. But I think
no doubt, man. Let's talk. Man.
I think that's going to wrap us up for this episode at least, and we'll figure out topics as we go week to week and some other stuff here and there. But yeah, man, Bad Boys, not for life, but Bad Boys Ride or Die. That's another one. Again, they dropped the ball somehow. But anything else before we head out? Rufus, Kahinde, final words, man. Final words, final thoughts.
I enjoyed the movie. Kahinde missed my rating. I gave it a 4.5 because I went into it with no expectations. So I really enjoyed this thing.
Okay. That's fair. With a 3, just because certain things that I just was like, but then again, we got to understand this is the sign of the times, and everybody isn't and everybody isn't, you know, tenacious and young and gung ho and, you know, stuff like that. And then the problem with the world, how the world is now, we can predict the future now. You know, and I say that with by you know, social media, people spoiling shit, stuff. And this is why these films are in contained studios, because people ruin everything. So it would have been fire. Martin and Will and the whole cast of Bad Boys running around Miami. Because if I would have known it was filming in Miami, I would have went home just to see, like, you know what I mean? Because the last I saw that was they filmed in Miami was True Lies when they blew up the bridge. That was fire. And Bad Boys. That was like the only thing I've ever seen film, which was cool. And it's just good. It's always cool to see that. But my rating was a 3, just because of my own personal and how I feel about the franchise. But it was an overall it was a good film. I had a good time. I enjoyed it. The action was great. See Martin a little bit more active in this film.
He was
versus the third one. You know, they kind of, I feel like they gave him the center stage on this one, which was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Cool movie, man. I enjoyed myself. I watched it twice actually. So.
For sure.
Well, mine was at solid 3. I enjoyed it better, more than the third one. Second one still is my favorite, but I get it. I get where we are in the story. I get where if we go to somewhere else, we'll see. But man, Candy, Rufus, thanks for hopping on, man. I'm gonna close us out.
Yeah.
Another episode of All Star Fandom. Candy with his usual run in. We'll make sure he gets the link after this going forward, so he can just hop in anytime. But again, if you're watching this now, watching on replay, we appreciate it. And this has been another episode of All Star Fandom Prime. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
Later.